our world is a little patriarchal in many ways, but I guess it's changing, and I think women have more agency. They're also demanding more agency, but I feel somewhere at the end of the day, it's not about men versus women.
हमारे लिए भी डिफिकल्ट है. हम खुद ही आसपास लोगों को, अपने ही दोस्तों को टाइप कास्ट कर देते हैं ना. हम खुद ही कई बार बोल देते हैं कि यार मेरी माँ को ना दाल मखनी बनानी आती है, पिज्जा बनेगा नहीं, लेकिन उनको बनाने तो दो, है ना. सो हम खुद भी कर देते हैं कई बार ऐसा. सो आई विल नॉट रियली वांट टू से किसी के बारे में कुछ ऐसा बोलना नहीं चाहूँगा.
Hello everyone, welcome to PeepingMoon.com. I'm Rashita Sahni, and today joining me for a super interesting conversation is the incredible team of the very magical Jubilee. Now, before I start this interview, it would be a crime if I don't go ahead and appreciate the show. I watched the first 5 episodes and my mind was blown. It wouldn't be wrong to call it one of the best made shows that I've watched in a really long time. So thank you, Vikram, Aditi, and the entire team for giving Jubilee to us. But Vikram sir, starting from you, to get a show like this one, which takes us to the golden era of Indian cinema, it takes a lot of research work. B, you have to get the cast and their looks right, and the music. Everything is, bang on. I'm yet to watch the other half, but I'm sure it's going to be equally or even better. How did you manage to do that, and how much research did actually go into making Jubilee?
So there is, first of all, thank you.
Most welcome.
Lovely to hear you say those things. So there's two parts to this research, in a sense. Is that one part of the research is the actual technical research as to, okay, the costumes and the cars and, the cigarettes and all those small details of the era. How films would be. So those are the technical things. But I think the other research that me and Atul Sabharwal have done on this is more about, it's our research of kind of like 20-25 years of being in the industry and hearing stories and tales and making our own imagination up about certain figures that we look up to and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of research that comes from there, from a genuine love for the medium, for a love for cinema, a love for the movies. So that research is a very different kind of research. That's just something that happens over the years, and as we sit together and discuss those things, that tends to come out. But the rest of it, I think, is a lot of why the show is the way it is because of the writing. I think Atul's writing in every episode is so nice that I think that automatically makes me have to do much lesser when it comes to my actors. Or with the music, or with any of those things. Because once people read this stuff, they're like, wait, they get the era, they get the space, they get the characters, they get a lot of that. So everything that I'm doing on this is actually just connecting the dots in a certain sort of sense. I think the real meat is all in the writing.
What about the casting? Because now that I've watched it, I can't imagine anyone else in the roles that I've seen until now. Now my brain's like fixed to these people who are sitting here, and when I was watching it, I also forgot the name of the actors, and I could only like Madan Kumar, and all of that just was going on playing in my head. I forgot who Apar was for a very big moment. So to get the casting also perfectly, what was your involvement like in that?
I think the casting for Apar, for Siddhant, Vamika, I have to give all the credit for that to Casting Bay, Anmol and his team. Because the auditions are what blew me away. Like, I would never have imagined if someone had, like, you always have just genius casting ideas. Like, I think Prosenjit is, honestly, that's my idea, but that's a genius idea. Trying to get Dada to come and play this, to play Shrikant Roy, I think, is an idea that works at an idea level, which is still it's still an idea that you can have.
Yeah.
Having Apar even audition for Madan Kumar's role is an idea that I would never have thought of. And I think hats off to Anmol for even thinking of that, getting Apar to even audition in the first place. I saw the audition, I'm like, wow, this guy is amazing. Like, he's it. And the same thing for Siddhant and Vamika to an extent.
तो भामिका तो इंस्टाग्राम से मिली थी
जहाँ से भी मिली, thank God मिली.
Yeah, that's true.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree.
But Aditi, when I was watching you in the show, there was this one thing that was constantly going on in my head, that how badass you are in the show and how pleasant it is when you're doing
नहीं नहीं, वो real life में बहुत badass है.
I don't know about that, but yeah, in the show it was. And there was this line which you were told in a scene that masses want to see more of male actors when you said that you are a bigger star. Now, of course, that was maybe the case back then, and now I'm so happy and glad that female actresses are getting amazing, strong, powerful parts in cinema today. But despite that, do you ever feel that this still is a very much male-oriented industry that we work in?
I mean, I think our world is a little patriarchal in many ways, but I guess it's changing, and I think women have more agency. They're also demanding more agency, but I feel somewhere at the end of the day, it's not about men versus women. It's really about us doing life together, and stories happening together. There is, I mean, one without the, I mean, it is about all of us coexisting and telling interesting stories. So too I think in cinema, but these things tend to be, I think, maybe cyclical. I'm not sure, but I do feel like today, because of so much content coming out, audience is actually king in many ways, and they are demanding stories, and then they're being created for them, and I don't think they look at it as male or female or whatever. They look at them as stories, and stories being strong and powerful enough to take them into those worlds, and the loyalty to those worlds, etc., etc. So I think it's a combination of everybody coming together and demanding these changes. But I feel like in this, where this is set, like Sumitra Kumari was pretty much like the queen of her castle, and in a very male-dominated industry for the time that it was. But even at that time, like whatever films that we have seen of that time, there was such strong sort of female-driven stories, where the protagonists of those films were female. We've seen those movies, and they were as big stars as their male counterparts at that time. And I think maybe now slowly it might happen again. I don't know. I hope.
Yeah. Just waiting for the day we have to stop asking these questions. And
I hope that at some point this male-oriented and
thing just
female-oriented goes.
I know.
That's
It
just
should just
because
be
it creates so much of a.
Yeah.
It's a story. It's a film.
Agreed. Aparshakti, I have to tell you, you were a delight to
So
watch.
sweet of you. Thank you so
And,
much. जब आपने इससे पहले casting की बात करी, तो we all were looking at each other, a little twinkle in our eyes. हल्का सा everybody was getting a little teary-eyed and happy about the fact that okay, we got a certain kind of validation. So thank you so much for that.
Also, it was very unfair that they only sent us the first 5 episodes because then
ये
I was
कैसी
like,
अर्जी
now
जो आपने
what?
मेरी तरफ push कर दी है?
हमें भी 5 की स्क्रिप्ट मिली पहले.
But the last time we met, we spoke a little about it, but now I want to elaborate on that. There was this certain image that you carried, not because of the talent you had, but because of the kind of work you did. I think an actor can do everything if he or she is a good actor.
Yeah.
But to break through that image, I think a little happened with Dhoka, and now when people see this, I'm sure they're going to just see you in some other space altogether. How challenging was it to firstly go back to that era and also to do something people are not very comfortable to watch you in?
I think जो आप बात कह रहे हैं तो सही, और ये मैं एक दो बार पहले भी जिक्र कर चुका हूँ. It always kind of gives me a little bit of easiness in the head, okay, that I have done something different from what I was doing earlier. But having said that, again I want to hammer this point that, I mean, I'm extremely, extremely proud of what I've done back in the day. And without sounding too much, those films are Dangals and Strees and The World and Touchwood. They've all done good numbers and they have all had their own following. Coming to this, of course, this is a show which is very, very special, not only for me, for all of us sitting here. And जब ये करने को मिलता है, it's a no-brainer. जब ये करने को मिलता है तो सिर्फ खुशी नहीं होती है, तसल्ली होती है. ज़िंदगी आपको तसल्ली बख्श लगती है. you feel satisfied, content, everything together. And yeah, I mean, I'm also kind of very happy to kind of dream की इससे आगे और better चीज़ें क्या हो सकती हैं. So yeah, I mean that's about it. I think जब कोई but otherwise wherever people thought कि अपार से I mean comedy होगी और कोई नहीं होगा, it never kind of gave me a certain kind of feeling कि मैं ऐसे करके दिखाऊंगा या वैसे करके दिखाऊंगा. It was never the case. There was never any kind of bitterness. It was always about ठीक है, अगर किसी को ऐसा लग रहा है वो किसी की अपनी खुद की चॉइस हो सकती है, ओपिनियन की अपना खुद का ओपिनियन हो सकता है. एंड हमारे लिए भी डिफिकल्ट है. हम खुद ही आसपास लोगों को, अपने ही दोस्तों को टाइप कास्ट कर देते हैं ना. हम खुद ही कई बार बोल देते हैं कि यार मेरी माँ को ना दाल मखनी बनानी आती है, पिज्ज़ा बनेगा नहीं, लेकिन उनको बनाने तो दो, है ना. सो हम खुद भी कर देते हैं कई बार ऐसा. सो आई विल नॉट रियली वांट टू से किसी के बारे में कुछ ऐसा बोलना नहीं चाहूँगा.
I'm sure. But do you think filmmakers and producers, everyone in the film line, will now see you in a different light after Jubilee? Because
That's what I hope they do, but even if they don't, I mean, वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ, इससे पहले की जो फिल्में हैं वहाँ पे मतलब as far as my acting chops are concerned, एक certain kind of validation तो मिली गई थी. And I'm hoping कि इससे ज़्यादा और बेहतर होगा. But just in case ऐसा नहीं भी हो रहा है तो मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ, तसल्ली बख्श हूँ मैं करके ही, मैं इस सेट पे होके ही इसके बाद इसका आउटकम क्या होने वाला है मुझे. I was not doing this show to get a call from somebody. I was शायद मैं बाकी काम शायद इसलिए कर रहा हूँ कि मैं विक्रम सर से काम कर सकूँ, ये जरूर हो सकता है. लेकिन इसके आगे मुझे नहीं लगता है कि मेरे दिमाग में ऐसा कुछ है कि मुझे ये बॉक्स टिक मार्क करना है.
Amazing.
So yeah.
Prasenjit, the story starts with you and Roy Talkies, and you are a very, firstly, in the show, I carried that image that I was sort of feeling intimidated by you when we first met, because that was the image that you created through Jubilee. Did you put in your own charm into the character to make him very sort of stern and strong, and he looks like a very powerful person who knows in his head what's right and what's wrong?
No, I think I mean I'm working with one of the finest director, and I always try to, of course when I'm doing a character I try to get into it, but I need director's help. I mean that's something I think all the actors, we always need director's help. His mind, we need to know his mind, how he's looking at Srikanth Roy. And then of course nothing which I'm trying to do, of course maybe I can suggest something which will help the character, because it's a very strong role. It's a very strong role. And yeah, I think with the first day when we discussed about this particular character, me and my director, we were sorted in a way that this is the way we should move on. And now it's on the set, and you have beautiful, great actors with you. So we all had tried our best to give our best. So let's see.
Okay. Vamika, your character is that one character I related to the most. She's very strong-headed. She will get what she wants to get. And she's very confident and secure as a person, as much as I can see. Did you make Nilofer that way, or did Nilofer leave that bits with you after you were done shooting?
Yeah, the latter.
Okay.
I learned a lot from her. तो नीलोफर ने मुझे वैसे तो काफ़ी कुछ दिया ही, कॉन्फिडेंस, being unapologetic about things, about herself, about how she lives her life. तो I remember कि जुबली के टाइम पे ना एक अलग ही फेज चल रहा था मेरी पर्सनल लाइफ और मेरी प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में. I remember how Nilofer helped me get over a lot of things in my personal life. So that was really beautiful. So Nilofer was truly playing Nilofer was truly magical for me. अब वो सबको तो नहीं बताया होगा मैंने, it's so personal कि वो उस वक्त जो भी जैसे भी. तो yeah, Nilofer did that to me for sure. After I was done shooting for Nilofer, I remember the last day जब हमारा शूट था और सिद्धांत ने ऐसे मुझे बोला, तुझे पता है ना कि अब हम इस सेट पे, अब हम जो है Nilofer, अब हम वापस से नहीं होंगे ना. मतलब तो बिकॉज वो हम इतनी देर से शूट कर रहे थे और बीच बीच में स्केट्स भी चल रहा था, लेकिन आई वॉज ऑलवेज कमिंग बैक टू बीइंग Nilofer. आई वॉज ऑलवेज लाइक मैं थोड़ी देर बाद वापस से मिलती रहती थी उसको, ऐसे लगता था. जब वो लास्ट डे हुआ तो आई फेल्ट लाइक मीट हर,
I'm not gonna be able to learn from her anymore. मुझे बहुत जितना I think किसी भी कैरेक्टर को जब आप समझना शुरू करते हैं, उनकी इनसिक्योरिटीज़, उनकी अच्छी चीज़ें, बुरी चीज़ें, it just helps you so much to understand yourself. कि अच्छा अगर वो, क्योंकि वो जो differences होते हैं आप में और उनमें, आप उनको समझते हो, because obviously you have to be completely convinced and completely you can't be judgmental about your character. So as actors, I feel like you have to be so empathetic, you know, generally in life, so that you can connect to some other character, some other person. So I felt like when I was trying to understand Nilofer, I understood so much about myself, and that was really beautiful.
Great. It happened to him when the interval hits in the fifth episode. So his journey overall, it left me feeling a little sympathetic towards his character, towards Jai Khanna. But when you play, now as an audience member, if I can feel so strongly through just those screens, when you're playing that character, does that leave like take an emotional toll on you, or are you like a switch off, switch on actor?
It's the opposite of a switch on.
Okay. I thought so.
I didn't know those switches.
अभी भी आपके सामने जय खन्ना ही बैठा
I don't know. I think for me, I could never leave him until he left me.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
so true.
And that happened like literally in the end in Sri Lanka. So I remember it's been a journey. It's like a life that you've lived. It's like a person that you've held close in you, and you became that person, and then it leaves you. But the thing is, when you give so much emotionally, mentally, it always gives you something back, and it always leaves you with something. So he's really changed my life. He's given me a better perspective towards life.
Amazing. But lastly, before I wrap up, I would like to ask everyone just to give one word to describe what would make Jubilee a binge-worthy watch. I'll start. I'll call it magical, and then Aparshakti.
You stole my word.
You have time. You are the last one.
One word, okay, one word attached to Jubilee is Vikramaditya Motwani.
Amazing.
That's 2 words.
Okay, Vikram.
Vikram sir.
ये भी तो है. Sir, सिर्फ sir.
Word is very tough. How to say no?
Prasanjit,
Game changer.
Aditi.
क्या बोला सर आपने?
Game changer.
Game changer.
Shit.
I told in the morning something.
Come on, veteran.
Important person.
It's just so mean. Damn it. It's the golden era. What I actually want to say, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
more than one word, but
Sure, go ahead.
you know, it's like how people love to know about actors and their lives. So I just thought this, like when we were giving another interview, it's like, you know, how people keep scrolling on Instagram.
Yeah, they're
it's
so
like
voyeuristic about it.
Instagram on
Yeah.
steroids. Voyeurism
Yeah,
on
voyeurism.
steroids, but in a very beautiful, poetic way.
Got it. Vikram sir.
It's sensational.
Nice. Rumors की दुकान.
Vamita.
एक word तो नहीं हो पाएगा.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, man, this is too tough.
I think nothing like you've ever seen before.
Never seen before.
from India.
Wonder.
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 Okay, on that wonderful note, I'd like to wrap this beautiful interview. And thank you so much for giving us Jubilee again. I cannot wait to watch the rest of it, and cannot wait for the audiences to watch all
Thank
of
you,
it.
so sweet.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
So
much.
from the
Yeah,
heart.
because
So kind.
yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you
it
so
was
much.
all genuine.